Oh, that is so cool. Hi. Oh my God. Okay, there we go. Hi, I'm Trish, and this is Beanbag Hagwag. Today I'm doing a tag video and a VR. So the VR is to Lennan Smith, who originally did a video on spiritualism and why do you feel you need it? There we go. It was a really thought-provoking video, and it was raw and deep, actually. So I've seen a few other people do a VR to her. Asteria Sen's channel has one, and Diane Jarecki. I'll put all the links down below. It was actually turned into a tag video with 4 questions. I think her name is the Astral Lady Tarot. Not sure. I don't have anything written down in front of me to look at, so I apologize for that. I will put everybody's name in the description box. So there's 4 questions. No matter how many people you ask, you will get that many answers, different answers. So the first question is easy. How were you raised? I was raised in a Catholic family. We went to church. As a child growing up, every Sunday my mother took us to church. Not my dad so much. My dad would either go golfing or bowling or watch football, whatever. So it's not like my household was really religious, but we knew who God was and what was expected of us. I actually, in 6th grade, went to a Catholic school. Before that, I went to CCD classes. So, religion was always a part of my life until I got out of high school. And it really did nothing for me. It did nothing. So I kind of put that on the wayside. And over the years, a few times, I would try to reconnect with the church. And I was never really able to build a relationship with that God. So when my dad passed away, that was devastating for me. He was 62, I was in my mid-30s, and I had a 12-year-old son, and I was in a shitty marriage. My dad's death and the experiences I had after my dad's death, all that made me search. I was looking for more. I knew there was more. And it took me years of searching for, a religion I could be good at or some sort of faith to have. Um, it was hard for me to have faith because of childhood trauma. I know trauma gets thrown around, that word gets thrown around so much. It's like, the golden word right now. And as far as trauma in the church, as I can only speak from my life experiences, but the church never traumatized me. There were things I had to unlearn. But, there's things you have to unlearn in every aspect of your life. And that's not to say that if you feel you suffer from trauma related to the church, I'm sorry. It's horrible. Trauma is horrible. The trauma I'm talking about is when I was 5 years old. I was the victim of uh, sexual abuse. So, yeah, that is what I weigh trauma on. There's lots of things that I could consider trauma. They ain't drama. that was trauma. And for that reason, I had a hard time building a relationship with God. I thought, why did he let that happen? Um, why didn't he help me through my pain growing up? Um, I was medicated while I was in sixth grade, medicated for chronic depression. And, considering what happened to me, that's not surprising. But, yeah, I always felt like he deserted me. He didn't care. So either did I. So, um, why do I need or want a spiritual practice? Even when I was a Catholic, I thought I was spiritual. Um, there was always something deep inside that I connected with, and it wasn't the church. It was spirit, plain and simple. It wasn't hard for me to find other paths to go down. The thing that was hard was turning my back on that frickin' Christian God that I was taught to fear and love at the same time. And um, that was a little scary for me at first. But how brave am I? Because ultimately, I did turn my back on him because I felt like he turned his back on me, and I was okay doing that. Um, so when I first started looking for a spiritual path I could follow, I just kind of went with instinct, and I craved it so deeply. Um, so you could say I started out on my path kind of woo woo. I loved all the positivity and um, all the love and light and the crystals and all that stuff. I still love all that stuff. And the reason I love all that stuff, such as the love and light and positivity, is because it's so freaking hard to be positive and be full of love and light all the time. It's just not possible. So I look for that. I look for the light because there's so much darkness. Um, so I kind of started out, new agey, kind of woo woo. I'm still kind of woo woo. What can I say? Um, and then I found Wicca, and that was, kind of that that was so similar to going to a Catholic mass. I mean, the things you do, the altar, the things you say. So, yeah, I didn't practice that for very long because I just needed to find my own way, and I'm still looking for the more. I'm still looking. Yeah, and I think it's okay to have questions. And my path changes constantly. Why do I want a spiritual practice? And you can be spiritual without having a practice. But for me, um, self-care is spiritual. Art is spiritual. All those practices, um, everything I do is spiritual. It comes from a spiritual place. Um, my life is better with it. My life is better having a spiritual practice, and that involves so many things: tarot and meditation and the whole that is so cool. The whole there we go. The whole you can see me now though. yeah, the whole gamut, the whole bunch of it. It makes me a better person. It makes me more empathetic and compassionate. It just makes me better. It makes me happy. It makes my life better. So why wouldn't I? Um, and what calls to me? Well, yeah, the light calls to me. Man, I have been in some really dark places and I crave the light. Like I crave it. Um, nature calls to me. I find so much healing in just being in nature, being in the water, in a lake. What calls to me? The more calls to me because there's always going to be more. And what keeps me on my path is knowing that it's okay, knowing that's okay if I veer off my path and look for something different. I can always come back to my path, but I can open so many doors. I mean, geez, there's so many different ways you can take your spiritual practice. And I want to take them all. I think that, like religion, and you can be spiritual and religious at the same time, but I think religion comes from the outside and being spiritual comes from the inside. This is the path of love, right? This is the path where I can love that little girl I was. I can love myself. I can love the things around me. And like I was always searching for forgiveness, and it never came. So this is the path of healing because it heals me in a way that organized religion couldn't. And I'm including Wicca. This heals me in a way, being on my own path, finding my own things, creating my own narrative, my personal gnosis. That's what I love about it. And that's what keeps me on my path, knowing that I can look anywhere I want to look. And like, I don't think my life even began before I realized that the divine lives in me. That's like spirituality, spirituality, spiritual. Oh, I can't even say the word. Just like spirituality comes from the inside, I think the divine comes from the inside. I was always searching for divine, and it's right here. It's right here. That's where spirituality is. That's where it lives. That's what I crave. And it keeps me whole. It keeps me alive and breathing because, yeah, it gives me purpose. Even though my presence is purpose enough, having this path gives me purpose to love more, to bring joy into my life and into the lives of the people around me. Yeah, that's why I want a spiritual practice. The spiritual practice itself is what calls to me, basically. And knowing I can search anywhere and follow any path, and it's okay, that's what keeps me on my path. This was such a this was such a great topic. And yeah, please partake in this tag. And thanks to Lennon, it was turned into a tag because she has the deepest, deepest videos. I mean, some of them are 40 minutes long, but you just putter around. I putter around my office and listen to her. yak for 40 minutes. And oh my gosh, it's always so thought provoking and interesting. So I'm sure you know who she is. If you don't, go check her out. Um, the link's down there. So, anyway, that's the tag, that's the VR, and I am out of here. Have a good day. Strive to be happy.